guys, I have not reacted to Wansee Entertainment in so long. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to horror story compilations. Animated horror story compilations of Wansee, or Wansee, however you say it. So basically, this is going back to all the way to January. So 14 horror stories animated, January 2021 compilation, part 1. So of course he has it all in one video, but I'm going to do like 2 or 3 parts for one. So like of course once I've done this one, then I'll go to February, and so on and so forth, right? So this part is going to be about 22 minutes and 55 seconds. I always have to make sure that I didn't like interfere. I wanted to like 2020, but then of course you have to like see where the story aligns, right? Where it ends and all that. So I'm just going to leave my fan just because it's a little bit cold, or a little bit hot, sorry. But yeah, I have not seen these stories in a while. I'm probably going to pause a lot, or at least a couple times if I need to, because normally I watch one story at a time. So, but this is going to be like a bunch in one, right? So this ought to be interesting though. It's just so weird seeing this, like knowing that it's a Wansee video, and then it's like, wow, I'm finally back to this because I feel like I haven't done this in so long. So that being said, I guess we should start getting into this. Let's go, guys. Have you ever played with a corpse? No.
Have you ever played with a corpse?
No.
It happened when I was a little kid, just before when I was about to enter kindergarten.
Why would you?
I went to the small valley with my family, grandparents, and my relatives.
Okay.
I was such a brave child as I was too young at the time. Just relying on my little swim tube, I used to play alone deep in the valley water, without wearing a life jacket, and come out and eat watermelon.
Shake my head.
My siblings were a little older than me, but being scared, they didn't come in. So I always hid them, and then went into the water to tease them.
Yeah, but
and the adults were sitting on a low wooden
they're
bench
older. They
near
should
the
be
valley,
watching.
just watching us. After eating lunch, I got bored again. I think it was about after 5 or 6. I went back to the water to play alone. Thinking back, it was totally crazy. I was circling about with my hips crammed in a tube carelessly.
You should have a
I was in a
life jacket at
situation where I
least.
might die right away if the tube flips. But I was just looking up at the sky and thinking that the clouds were pretty at that time.
I love when clouds are like that.
The center of my swim tube was shaken a little bit. That was the moment. A girl who looks like a middle school student suddenly grabbed my arm. Her lips looked slightly purple, as if she had been playing in the water for a long time.
No, if I see that in the water at like 5 or 6 in the evening, it's like a bit dark.
As if she was reassuring me, "You're gonna fall off. Grab it tightly." She looked kinda older than me, and I was just excited about the thing that she's gonna stay and play with me for a while.
So she just comes out of nowhere.
So I grabbed the tube, and then I swam with her. While she dragged my tube, I couldn't even realize what time it is now. I had so much fun with her. About an hour later, she started to take me to a shallow place near the riverside.
That's better.
"It's going to be cold soon. I'll take you to the adults," she said.
The adults?
But at that moment, my grandmother suddenly screamed and kept shouting my name. She was very old, and she didn't even come into the water, but she hurriedly came into the water with her socks on, and she lifted me up and then ran out. "Grandma, what's wrong? What happened?" I shouted.
What's happening?
But as soon as I came out of the water, my family
so
tried to
creepy.
cover my eyes so I couldn't see the valley. And my grandma was crying while saying that I was possessed by a ghost. I remember going to a temple or shaman's house for a while after that. A few years later, I asked my grandmother what happened that day, and what she told me was a pure shock. The moment my grandmother looked at the valley to see if I was playing well alone, she saw that I was talking to myself while giggling, and something black got stuck at the end of my tube and was wobbling together.
That's so creepy.
Wondering what I was so funny about, she put glasses on to see me and that black thing. And at that moment, she saw that I was swimming around holding someone's black and long hair.
Oh my god.
Her heart sank. And as she decided
So she was
to
literally
approach
playing
me
with a corpse,
quickly,
not even knowing that it was
she then saw
dead.
the dead body slowly coming up. That's why she ran towards me.
Yeah, but I thought the girl said that she was talking to her.
It didn't scare me at all, literally. However, I still can't forget the faces of those adults who saw the scene.
Yeah, but you said that they were talking. You guys were talking to each other. So how are they dead? True story about my grandfather's experience. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one.
This story is about my grandfather's experience. He died a long time ago. After he was declared dead at the hospital, we took the body home and put it in his room because my grandmother wanted to see him a little more before saying goodbye to her husband.
That's a little weird, but understandable.
But then,
like the
something
dead
happened.
corpse, that's not.
2 days later, the room door suddenly opened and my grandfather crawled out asking for water.
Excuse me?
Literally, my grandmother and all of the aunts just fainted. and only my uncles and my mom were barely awake.
So I was just
And
like,
I was just staring at
it
this
just faints and
weird
dies. Like,
sight
what the fuck?
because I was too young at the time.
That's
I
not
gave
possible.
my grandfather a whole body massage after I brought him water, and on that day, the house was in chaos. A few months later, I went to my grandparents' house again, and he was so lively that I couldn't believe that he's the one who once died. One day I was sitting with my grandfather
Is this
eating
real?
ice cream,
Like he just
and
like
he started
revived
to tell me
randomly?
a story. On that day, my grandfather woke up in the hospital, and he noticed that everyone was crying. He asked them why they were crying, but no one answered, so he was just standing there. And then a man in a black suit called him outside the hospital room. Without time to think,
What?
he began following him, and he started to feel a little bit sad rather than scared. The crying sound from behind gradually decreased, and as he walked along with the man, he could see the village where he used to live as a child. There was a river at his feet that he had never seen before.
Is this like a dream
and
or
the
something?
river
I don't
was
understand.
Really,
This is
really
not
red. So he got goosebumps.
like he just died. He wakes up and he's like, yeah, I'm just
The
gonna go
man
for a walk
was
with someone that
walking
looks
on
like
the
he's dead.
surface of the water, and he pressed my grandfather to come over quickly. So the moment he tried to follow him, he was also walking on the water. After crossing the river, he then saw a black wooden structure long past the wasteland.
Paranormal
When
stuff
he was
like
about
this.
to pass the gate, a woman in black mourning came out from the inside and kicked him out, saying, "No, you brought the wrong person. If you want to live another 3 years of your life, go and ignore everyone you meet. Do not look back. Just
What?
follow the four-legged animal." The woman said like this and
What?
disappeared into the house with the man.
I'm so confused.
So my grandfather was going back the way he came. And then he saw one of his friends who had died a few years ago standing there. He beckoned him to come closer, but my grandfather ignored him, thinking what the woman had said just before,
What?
even if his friend cursed at him. After that, he met other friends, but he ignored all of them and just passed by. The moment he arrived at the river again, there was a bridge that was not there before. At that moment, he saw his daughter, who had died of fever when she was young, standing in front of the bridge. He could not ignore his daughter. So he approached, and she stretched out her hand as if she wanted him to hold it for her. As soon as he was about to hold that hand, something pulled on his legs. When he looked down, he saw a white dog that had been raised by him a long time ago,
Oh, by the
was
way.
biting his pants and dragging frantically as if he should not hold that hand.
That's
It's
creepy.
like he was
This-
telling him to cross the bridge immediately.
The story's
He
creepy.
stepped
I
back
don't even
from his
understand what's
daughter
happening
quickly,
here.
and that was the moment when she suddenly rushed to him. Her mouth almost ripped to the ear, and she
Shit.
repeated like this, "I'm going to catch you. I'm going to take you." She was running toward him with a
Oh
rope
my
in her
God.
hand, and it was horrifying. He started to
I
run toward
don't
the bridge,
understand
and
this
the
at
dog
all.
was
I'm
barking
so
at the
lost.
ghost
Like,
that
what is
guarded
happening? Is
behind
this a
him.
dream? Like, what is this?
As soon as he crossed the bridge, that thing vanished with loud crying, and the dog was still barking as if he was telling him to hurry.
What?
He looked back when he was far away
Like
from
what?
the
So
bridge.
when he was in the hospital, he woke
Then
up and
realized
he
that the
walked with
river,
someone that doesn't
the bridge,
even exist or
The
something.
neighborhood and the dog were all gone.
Like that's not possible.
The
This doesn't
surrounding
make any
area
sense.
was as white as a sheet.
This doesn't make any sense.
It was the moment when he finally opened his eyes, and he found himself lying in his bed.
So what
Grandfather also
they thought
told
that he
this
died this
story
whole
to
time,
his
but he didn't
local
actually die.
friends. And the oldest man told him a story that had been told by a shaman. There's a ghost that brings the dead who met with violent death, and he suggested that the ghost that grandfather saw seemed to be that kind of type. If ghosts lack a place to live in the afterlife, they would take the dead to build a new house. Anyway, after that,
fuck?
my grandfather lived really well for the rest of the 3 years, as the woman in the dream had said, and then he passed away while taking a nap on the same day he first died, 3 years ago.
Wow.
After that, I kept recalling my grandfather's lonely face while he told me a story at that time. My grandfather was not the type who originally believed in ghosts. While he was alive, he always cut the weeds around the grave and brought some drinks and snacks for the grave's owners whenever he saw the ownerless graves around his town. This, of course, is just my grandfather's very personal experience. So it's okay to think of it as just a novelty story, because he told me exactly the same thing. I guess he absolutely went to heaven, but I just miss my grandfather.
So he died, came back to life, and then died again. So I pause that just because I'm still kind of confused and kind of surprised at this point. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. I'm just trying to get the time of the thing. I'm pausing it just so I can get it down when I'm editing this. But yeah, I don't really understand. Like, the first story was definitely kind of fucked up. How do you play with a dead person when you're talking to them and they're talking to you back? Like, that doesn't make any sense to you. Like, it's like you're possessed or something. I don't know. Like, with all these, like, demon and, like, possession and, like, mind control, like, demon, paranormal, I'm very iffy with that because, like, I don't see that being real. Like, I don't want to jinx anything, not gonna wood a million times, but it's like, I don't want to jinx anything, but it's like, how is that even real, or how does that even exist? Like, that's not possible, right? That's not possible, is it? It's not, right? Am I stupid? That's not possible. Like, I swear it's not possible. But again, what do I know? I'm just stupid, so I don't know. But, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't see that really being a thing. Like, I don't know. But I think that was only, like, 2 stories. And we only got, like, 13 minutes left, 14 minutes left. So these stories better be, yeah, 9 minutes for 2 stories. There's 12 more stories in, like, 13 minutes, so yikes. Yeah, maybe I'll have to pause a bit more, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, guys, let's get right back into this. But that was really weird. I don't really know what to say to that. Creature in the Closet, narrated by Darkest Primrose. Oh, I haven't seen a video from his in a while. I've never reacted to anybody yet.
I live in Limburg. That is the most southern province of the Netherlands.
Okay.
I'm 20 years old, and all my life I've been wanting to work as a caretaker for people with a disability.
Okay.
Just a few months ago,
Dummy.
my dream came true.
Why is your name Dummy?
And now I work as a full-time caretaker
but why is your name
at a
Dummy?
living facility in Maastricht. At this facility, my story takes place. The living facility is positioned just outside of Maastricht City. Before the building became a housing facility,
I'm trying to say it, but I can't
it was
say
a
it.
laundromat for
Maastricht?
people living on that street.
Maastricht? I don't know.
The facility consists of 3 houses that are internally connected. Each one can house 8 people. That makes a total of 24 patients that live in the facility.
So 888, okay,
Each
cool.
patient has his or her own room, ranging from small to large, to a separate bathroom and kitchen, to a shared bathroom in the hallway. I first began
what if it
working at
sucks?
this
8
facility
people
when
and then
I
you
was
gotta go
just
in a
17 years old.
Like, what if, like, 8
as an
people gotta go at
intern
once?
for my education.
Wait, she's 17 years old? Oh,
The
snap.
story starts 2 years ago.
Yeah, wait,
When
why is
one
her
of
name
my
Dummy?
patients that had lived there for 3 years moved out to live at another facility. His family claimed that the patient did not feel safe in his room because he would hear knocking coming from his closet.
Sus.
We made our apologies for the inconvenience, but didn't think
It
much
could just
of
be
it.
in their head, too. They're old, they maybe
1 month
malfunctioning or
later,
something. Who
when the
knows?
room was cleaned and disinfected, a new patient came to live in the empty room.
Okay.
It was an elderly man, who I'll just refer to as Rick. Rick was a warm and kind-hearted man who always loved talking about horses that he had as a child,
So now he's
as well
kind.
as his great love for Russian opera. You'd always catch him sneaking into the kitchen to get a snack, or hear him sing
Me.
opera.
I just want food all
I
the
must
time.
admit,
I feel that.
he had quite a powerful and wonderful voice.
Okay, good.
At first, he would bid us a good night before he went to bed.
So he
But as
seems really
time
nice and
went
sweet.
by, Rick seemed more and more distressed. He didn't eat and didn't drink as much as he used to.
So same as
and
the
he
other
lost weight
resident, kind of
and
became a little
troubling
bit.
weight. He would sit quietly on the couch, staring blankly
Is
at
that room
nothing.
haunted or something? Is he possessed or
When
something?
asked what was wrong, he would say that he had a terrible nightmare of some kind of creature lurking in his closet.
Yep, there's
My
something going on.
colleagues and I debated whether or not he could be getting Alzheimer's and would need testing for it.
We'll
He had been
test out that
tested,
room and that
but
little.
nothing came out of those tests.
Check that closet
Every night,
thingy.
Rick would scream us awake, and when we came into the room, he'd be sitting on his bed, trembling and pointing at the closet.
Open it.
He'd say that something crawled out of the closet and joined him in his bed. He
I
described
would really
this
go
creature
insane.
as being skinny, even bony, with rotting meat hanging from its bones. The creature had green eyes, the same
Sus.
color as his deceased mother, and huge fingers that ended in claws. The creature's face was that of a human skull, those green eyes being nothing more than small lights.
Well, there has to be
that was
something
filled
freaking
with
like messed up in that
sharp
room.
teeth, like a crocodile. The creature would lie next to him in his bed, wrapping its claws around his body.
Again, this is all paranormal stuff to me, and I'm just like, I
so
don't
vividly how he could smell
know how
the
to feel
horrible
about
scent
this.
of decay as the creature opened his mouth to whisper in his ear.
Is it just a nightmare or sleep?
This is not your home.
Okay,
Rick
that's a
covered his
little,
ears as he said that, and he would soil himself. Poor Rick. My colleague checked the closet, but there was nothing there, and the only thing we could say was that everything was going to be fine. Fast forward about a month later, and Rick would wake up with markings all over his body. Deep scratches that appeared to be claw marks.
So it's actually
there were
real.
even bite marks that were deeper and more animalistic than any human bite. Rick would not want to go into his room anymore, and he would bring his dinner to his room and place it at the door of his closet. My colleagues would take the food away, much to Rick's horror. He'd say that we would make the creature angry, and if it was angry, it would punish him.
He's possessed. He has to be some kind of possessed or some kind of like demon.
Seeing the fear in his eyes as
Something.
we scolded him and
Something's
took away
happening.
the plate. There was 2 weeks of this, the same thing happening with Rick. One of my closest colleagues and I were working the night shift one night. We were making our usual rounds, checking if everyone was sleeping, and all the machinery was still up and running.
Okay.
That was when we heard a horrible, bone-chilling scream echo through the building.
It's Rick's room again.
The scream came from
306.
Rick's room. We stormed in, throwing the door open hard, revealing a horrible sight. Rick was lying on his back in his bed, while he was grasping for air. He was clawing at his neck and chest, ripping the flesh off, making bloody gashes
so he's
all
doing
over
it
his
himself,
upper
but
body.
he's
His
possessed.
bed and himself were covered in blood, and there was a trace of blood leading to his closet,
What?
which was now slightly open.
What
My
the
colleagues
fuck?
dialed 112. That's the emergency line in the Netherlands.
Like I was
While
gonna
I
say,
desperately
now
tried
on.
to stop Rick from clawing, the only thing Rick did was scream, as if possessed, and
He's
stared
possessed.
at the ceiling.
He's
After what
possessed.
seemed like forever, the ambulance came and took Rick away. A week later, we received the sad news that Rick had died. The room once again was left empty. The
Keep it
blood was
empty.
cleaned up by a cleaning company, and the room would be occupied soon enough. But
I
even
would
before
suggest-
the room was occupied, I found another patient standing in the room in front of that closet. "Hey, what are you doing in here?" I asked her as I walked into the room.
No, she's possessed too,
The
isn't
patient
she?
had stared at me and had muttered, "This room should not be occupied ever again. It is angering him." Who's him?" I asked, with a shaky voice.
There's some kind of demon spirit in there.
You know what I mean. The devil who lived in the closet.
After she said that, she walked out of the room and left me
Alright.
breathless. 2 weeks later,
Yeah, at that point, I'm just leaving
that
that room.
same patient moved into the room.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why she was placed in that room, but I do know that she too changed. She can't remember her own name now, and all she does is sit in front of that closet, talking to the devil. I don't know what's going on at my work, but strange things keep happening.
Fucking move
Colleagues
out.
tell stories of hearing footsteps in the hallways. Others hear
Haunted
whispers in the
shit.
garden, and
Fuck.
one claimed to have been attacked by a shadow demon.
So it's just
Whatever's
haunted,
going
possessed,
on,
the whole building.
One thing is for sure. The creature in the closet is real, and he's not happy about our patient living in his room.
Apparently not. True horror story about the
Back in
mysterious
the
intruder.
70s, when I was a teenager, I had a girlfriend named Daisy who was a neighborhood babysitter.
Okay.
Everyone on my block used her to watch their kids when they would go out. There was no need for her to have a regular job, because she made good money babysitting.
Okay.
I would usually stop by after the kids went to sleep, and hang out with her until the parents got back. where I'd quietly make my exit and wait for her outside to walk her home. I remember that this was a couple of days after Halloween 1977. I'll never forget that year's Halloween, because that was the night I was clipped by a drunk driver while I was riding my bike.
Fuck, I hate
The
when
guy
I hear
ended up
that
going
shit
to
in
jail,
news.
but
Good.
that's another story. The point is, I would not be visiting Daisy that night because of my broken arm and fractured rib.
Well, at least
But
you're
she said
alive.
that she would
I'm
call
happy
me after
about
the
that.
kids went to sleep. So I spent the evening in my living room watching television,
Yeah,
waiting
I'm
for
sure
Daisy
glad he's
to call
okay,
me.
just because like a lot
I
of
would
people
say
die
it was
from
around
that.
8:30 when the phone rang. Hello.
Hey, it's me.
What's up, babe? Did the little rascal finally pass out?
Yeah, Mrs. Clark let him eat all of his leftover candy before I got here, and he was bouncing off the walls for a while.
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, really?
Sounds like fun.
Like you're gonna do that right when I come in? Really?
But it's pretty funny to see little Dennis when he's all hyper. He talks so fast that it sounds like he's speaking another language.
Is that so?
Alright.
Yeah, but anyway, how's your arm?
It still sucks. Itches like crazy. And when I try to scratch at it, I end up moving it. And that's when I feel the pain come back.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, tell me about
That
it.
does not sound
I'm
like
just
really
grateful it's my
satisfying
left
or like a
arm.
really convincing
And then my
oof.
dad does a really
Jeez.
bad job at hiding his dirty magazines.
Oh, shut up, you perv.
So, what are you wearing?
That's
I'm
good,
not
quickly.
answering that. Use your imagination.
Be careful what you wish for. I might just...
Shh.
Uh-oh.
I think I heard something outside.
I hate when
Very
shit.
funny, Daisy.
No, I'm serious. I think I just heard someone walking around outside.
I
hate
can tell
hearing
by the
noises
sound
like
of her
that.
voice. Daisy was a little creeped out. Maybe the Clarks are home?
No, they said they wouldn't be back until 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm staying the night here.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
don't freak out. Maybe it's just a stray cat or something.
It didn't sound like a cat. Just stay on the phone with me while I go check it out.
Okay.
No, you have a landline, you can't, like, you
A
have to
couple of
leave it.
seconds went by, and the next thing I heard was the sound of glass shattering followed by Daisy screaming at the top of her lungs.
Fuck.
And the line went dead. I quickly got up, left my house, and made my way over to the Clark's
That's a good
residence
boyfriend.
as quickly as I could.
That's a really good boyfriend.
They lived at the very end of the block,
Of course
so
they
it
did.
took me about 5 minutes to get there.
That's not bad.
When
5
I
minutes.
arrived, the front door was open, and I could see Daisy lying face down on the living room floor in a pool of blood.
Oh shit, is she dead?
I quickly got to her and turned her over with my good arm. She had been stabbed in the chest. At first, I thought Daisy was dead, but I soon realized she was just unconscious.
Oh, thank God.
I applied pressure to her wound and looked behind me to see that Dennis was by the stairs.
Oh my God.
He had
Wait,
a look of
I forgot she was
absolute terror on his
babysitting.
face. Dennis, buddy, I need you to call the police. Tell them that someone broke in and attacked Daisy. I actually knew Dennis very well. My dad and his dad were very good friends. So Dennis wasn't afraid of me, and he also wasn't a complete moron like most kids on my block.
Good.
He did what he was told. While I was trying to stop the
Yeah,
bleeding,
but where's the actual
I happened
guy?
to see that one of the large living room windows had been completely shattered. That was where the attacker must have entered, and then left through the front door. The police and ambulance showed up a few minutes later, and Daisy was rushed to the emergency room. The police contacted the Clarks to explain the situation, and Dennis ended up staying at my house until they got back.
I would not want to stay
When
there.
Daisy
Fuck that. I
finally
would
came
leave.
to, she was hysterical and could not tell the police any details about her attacker. It was completely random. Nothing like this had ever
Completely
happened
random
in my neighborhood
crime.
before. This incident pretty much destroyed our entire community. Nobody trusted anyone after this. A rumor even started that I was the one who attacked Daisy that night.
What the fuck?
Unfortunately, Daisy ended up suffering from mental complications brought on by the trauma of this event. Our relationship fell apart, and she moved away a year later. I'm sad to say that she developed a drug addiction, which led to her taking her own life in 1983.
Oh my
The
God.
police never found out who the intruder was, or what his motives were. Nothing from the house had been taken. It's truly a shame that they never caught the person. Because of their actions, they destroyed a wonderful community. And I can't imagine the anguish that Daisy's parents went through watching their daughter turn from a happy, normal girl into an emotional wreck. It's sad, but this is the world we live in. I don't advocate that you live your life in fear. That's not healthy. But be aware that there are people out there who are just pure evil. And sometimes, they don't have a reason for doing the horrible things they do.
Honestly, that is true though. So I'm an idiot, and I'm gonna put a note in the part where, because earlier I was like, oh, this story was 9 minutes long, and there's only like, what, 20 minutes left of this video? Or 10 minutes left? I was like, wait a second, this is part 1. Remember, it's like an hour long, so I'm stupid. So I was only 3 stories in one, so 3 stories, 23 minutes. So wow, so there's gonna be another 2 parts, which hopefully those stories are shorter, but yeah, these are long stories. I was only 3 stories for like 23 minutes, wow. Honestly, if I knew that it was only that much, I wouldn't have paused it, but I only paused it once, which is fine. But honestly, that's insane just to think that like someone breaks into your house, you're a babysitter, you're a completely normal 17-year-old girl, everything's doing great, life's okay, like, you know, you have a job and everything, and then that happens. Someone breaks into the house like that, babysitting, and you get stabbed. Oh, it doesn't help that I hear sirens blaring outside. It's totally freaking comfortable at this time, at this moment in time, especially considering I want to bike later. This may have prevented me from biking later, because I like biking at nighttime. Like the one time I biked at like 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and it's all quiet and chill, but there's always the odd time where I'm like speeding home, nervous. There's a car that kind of like passed by me twice, like yelling things at me, and I'm like, huh? But I had like fancy lights on my bike wheels, which thought maybe why. It seems like it was maybe like a Friday night or something. Maybe they were like yelling stuff at me. I don't know. Or I think it was almost like a Sunday or a Monday night or something. So I don't know. But I think they were girls. They were drunk or something. I don't know. Way off topic. But yeah, basically this guy took a community full of love, and I'm assuming full of, you know, energy, and, you know, basically making everyone fear, which again, if it's a completely random attack, then you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you don't know what's a complete random attack. You don't know if they're going to come to your house, come to your neighbor's house, you know what I mean? Come to your general community area. It's scary, right? Like, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's coming your way. Like, you don't know if people have the best intentions for you, which is honestly the scariest thing ever, because you just don't know. Honestly, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to like it. Be sure to comment down below any thoughts you guys had. Again, this is part 1. There was only 3 stories, so there's 11 stories left in the January compilation, so of course I'll get to that eventually. I will put part 2 and part 3 in this video description once they're out. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, guys. Please just stay safe. Anything can happen. You could get possessed, you could get raped, attacked. Please just stay safe. Be cautious when you're out and stuff like that. Like, even tonight, I feel like I'm going to be more cautious when biking. Like, I'm usually always on my phone. I got bike lights on, like a shit ton of bike lights, so like I'm definitely seeable, but that may not be the best thing. If people see me alone at night, they may want to come after me, right? So it may not always be good to be seen at night. It may actually be good to not be seen. But again, you gotta be seen for cars, right? So I don't know. That's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. And I'm really curious how many views this will get, because I haven't done Wansee in a while. So I guess we'll see. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. And let me know if you guys want me to continue doing Wansee. Because in my poll that I got like over 100 votes on, like only 8% said Wansee, so not too sure if Wansee is what you guys want to see. Wansee, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you want to see or not, so let me know. Thanks for watching. Peace out.